Well, I hope that boom scared you, because it scared me. Now this is the part two video, part two series, as to how to actually go and make your own custom tune. Now, a disclaimer: this is all at your own risk. I'm not a mechanic. I don't give out any professional advice on cars. That wouldn't be very good, because if I did, I think most of them will probably be damaged. So just take that in mind. This is just something I like to work on, and as with everything, kind of test it, give it a go, make sure it's working for you. Don't just directly copy what I'm doing. I'm just wanting to make this video as a guide, as a reference, so you know where to look and kind of what tables to modify once we get inside ROM Raider. So now let's have a quick conversation around the kind of setups this tune mainly, I guess, works better for. So like I said previously, you don't just want to be applying this tune on a completely stock 86. When I say stock, I'm more meaning the underside of the car, so the headers, the cat back, if you have a cat back. So let's go and take a look at some risks involved, and then we'll go from there. So let's have a quick conversation about what we're actually trying to do here. So normally when you lift your foot off the throttle, your ECU will cut the fuel to save gas and emissions. But with this specific pop tune that we're going to try and do, we're going to tell the ECU to either keep injecting a small amount of fuel during deacceleration, or delay the ignition timing drastically. Another term for it is retard it, so that the combustion actually happens after the exhaust valve has opened, pushing the burning fuel into the exhaust. Now, when that unburnt fuel hits the exhaust components, it ignites, which creates those pops and bands, the ones that we're going to try and configure in ROM Raider. But again, guys, it does not come without its drawbacks, and it's important to understand the risks associated with this. I don't see a lot of people, a lot of other videos talking about the risks, but it is something to have in the back of your mind. So before you jump into it, it's not really just about sounding cool. It is, like I said, it can potentially damage explosive components, and you can even face a little bit of legal trouble. First thing I want to talk about is the biggest risk that there is. It's probably the catalytic converter, because the cat converter, so they're designed to clean up the gases at like specific temperatures. So when you start igniting fuel inside them, you're exposing them to extreme and most likely uncontrolled heat spikes. So essentially what that means is you either want to go catless. I have seen it work, or I have seen it work with high flow cat converters. Again, to kind of reduce that or to stop it from happening, I would just go completely catless. So yeah, bear that in mind. The other thing we need to talk about is just the overall engine health. So indirectly, if the tune is executed poorly, it can result in running excessively rich or drastic ignition retard under incorrect conditions. So it could potentially lead to issues. Though it's less direct than cat damage, it is always good to know that, and the more unburnt fuel can lead to increased carbon buildup on valves and in the combustion chamber over time, especially with direct injection engines. Other thing to quickly note, depending on where you are, modifying your exhaust to produce these noise can potentially be illegal. So as always, go and do a little bit of research. Just make sure that what you're doing is not going to be, non-compliant with local law. We have these things called warrant of fitness in New Zealand, where they will check for things like that. But if you do have a tuner, you can always just flash another tune beforehand. So those are kind of some of the associated risks with my setup. I am running unequal length headers, a catless, and a catback exhaust with a muffler at the rear, which I need. There's actually a small hot dog resonator in there as well, just before the muffler, just to reduce the sound a little bit. So that is my setup. I have been running this tune for a little while now, with no problems, but we're going to go and jump straight into this one. Okay, so welcome back. In this one, we're going to go ahead and download ROM Raider. Now, I am doing this on a Linux device that is running Pop! OS. So that is a Debian-based Linux distro from System76. If you're using Windows, you just want to make sure the first prerequisite is making sure that you have Java installed. By default, you should have Java installed. If not, we can go and take a look. If we have it, so you can do that by putting in that command. I believe on command prompt it's probably looking like this. If you don't have it, we can go ahead and install it. Should be it. Okay, so I have it, but if you don't have it, go ahead and install it using that command. And the next thing we are going to do is go and browse for ROM Raider. Okay, click this first link. Now, depending obviously what OS you're on, you're either going to choose Windows or Linux. Now, for the people that are on like EndeavourOS, which uses Arch Linux, you probably want to use something like Bottles of Wine to open the open ROM Raider up. I did try when I was on Arch and it worked fine. I can put like another tutorial for that, but we're just going to go ahead here and click Linux. So you're going to get a jar file which you're going to save. We can replace it. Come back to your terminal, and what we're going to do is we're just going to go Java jar. Sorry, we'll have to go into our downloads first, wherever you saved it. And then we're just going to go. Okay, now I already have ROM Raider installed, but this is just showing you the kind of setup that you'll need to go through. Yep, just click next. Yep, well, we can override it, no worries. There's also another box here for source files, so make sure you click that. Next, and then next. Okay, so that is finished. Next thing you want to do, it'll install a few of these, obviously because I've double installed it. Don't worry about that. You're looking for the ECU editor one. Okay, you don't have to worry about this too much. We're just gonna go through there, and eventually we'll get to a screen that looks like this. So the first thing you need to do is go onto definitions here and go definition manager. Now what we're looking for here is an XML file for your particular calibration code. So that will be supplied to you either, if we're talking about OFT v3 here, you can get this by emailing the team there. So they'll email you the 4 stock off-the-shelf tunes along with this XML file, so you can go ahead and do your own tunes. So what that might look like is you go and find it, open it, and then you're just going to click save. So that part of it's done. Next thing you want to do is go file, open image, and you can see here that I've done a few. Now it's really important when you're doing these that you do not overwrite the default tunes. So either make a copy of them somewhere. Don't go ahead and open this one and then go and save it exactly the same. But we'll start with this one so you understand what that might look like. So after that's loaded, we're presented with a few different things here. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the next portion. So we've got our definition in, we've loaded the tune. Now, I'd imagine when coming into something like this, if you've never done something like this before, it can be a little bit overwhelming, which is good, I suppose, in a way, but lucky for you, I'm still learning as well, so we can kind of go through the process together. Now, the first thing I just want to say, when you're in this program, there's going to be parts of it that you're not going to be able to edit because by default, your user level is going to be on a beginner. So you want to go ahead and probably change that. The parts that you can't edit are stuff like this. So we'll go into this one. And I'll show you the error message that comes up. So you can either just edit it from here, or you can see in the top left here, you can edit it from there too. So when you click set, it's going to come up like this. So, and it tells you what you need to do to edit it, but we're not going to be focusing on that. It's just an FYI. If you decide to come out of this video and play around with some other things, that's completely fine. The two that we're going to be focusing on is under the ignition timing advance, where I've got the base timing A table here. We also will be modifying the base timing B. Now, the other thing that you might notice is when you're loading a default tune, your stage one, if you're loading that, it's going to look a little bit different, your tables, than a stage 2 or stage 2 plus. So bear that in mind. Like, don't freak out or anything. I know at the bottom here it will look slightly different where the values are, I believe, negative 0.12. So yeah, just an FYI. Don't freak out or anything like that. So what we're going to do is if we take a look at the base timing A, for example, you're going to notice the axis, so RPM, engine speed, along one side, and then the load in grams per revolution. So that's also defined up here as G/rev along the other. So the RPM, pretty straightforward. At what engine speed are we going to make the change, and the load. So this is a crucial part, because you will see in other videos that a lot of people just edit this row here. Some might go into there, some might go into there. A lot of people just do this one, okay? But the load actually represents how much air is going to enter in the engine. So when you're completely off throttle and deaccelerating, the engine load is extremely low. So this is why we're only going to focus on the lowest columns in the ignition table. So those are the ones that are represented by the 0.05, 0.20, and so on. So the next questions you might have are why the negative values. So as you can see under the 0.15 column, so those are generally the default values. But we're setting them to, you'll see other videos where they set them to -6, -10, -15. Obviously, the higher you're going, the more pronounced the pop is going to be. But basically, we're telling the spark plug to fire significantly after the top dead center, or the TDC. So instead of igniting the fuel mixture efficiently inside the cylinder to produce power, we're actually making it ignite late so that the exhaust valve has already begun to open. In some cases, it can also be fully open. And then when the spark fire is extremely late, a significant portion of that fuel-air mixture is pushed out of the cylinder and into the exhaust manifold and piping. And that's what causes that little pop. So usually you're going to get more pops as the engine is a lot hotter. Okay, so let's go and focus now on editing the values in the table. So like I said initially, the most important part here is going and testing the tunes, okay? So you don't want to go and copy me and then go and flash the tune, and then, you know, something bad is going to happen. Like I said, I don't know the setup of your car, so just make sure to do lots of testing. So when I initially was making these tunes, I only edited this column here from about 2000 to 6000. But what you want to do, depending on how far in you are, I usually like to start at about 1600. You can click Control once you're on a value. You can just drag with your mouse, and this is going to highlight the values that are going to change. In this case, we're going from 1600 to 72. Up here is your universal kind of change. So you're just going to click Set, okay? So that will go and change all the values there. If for whatever reason you start panicking because you don't know what the original values were, no stress. You just come here, edit, and just undo all the changes, and that's all you need to do to revert it back to normal. For a tune that you guys have never done before, I would recommend actually just starting from 2400. Just go down to 6000 there. Sorry, we'll just click here. Okay, I would even just recommend just doing this portion first, just so it's not too much on your engine. So once that is done and you're happy with that, we're going to go into the B table now, okay? And we're going to make exactly the same changes there. Let me just see if I can get this a little bit bigger. There you go. Okay. And we'll go from 2 to 6. And just click Set there. Okay, so once you're happy with that, like I said, go ahead and test that. If you come back and it's not as loud, not as pronounced, you want to start taking a look at these, the second row here as well, and also increasing the RPM as well. Now, in another video, I'll go through some other kind of more advanced things that we can go and edit. So mainly these four here. I know it's a little bit hard to look at them right now, but that's your counter RPM threshold, the pulse width, the delta activation, and also the resume threshold. In forums, you're going to look and you're going to notice that these have been changed. These have been changed to go and suit the car, okay? So if you come across a forum and, you know, there's all these arbitrary values, I can't stress enough, don't go ahead and change it, because it's probably not going to suit your car unless you have a very, very similar setup. The problem is a lot of people with these 86s have completely custom setups where, you know, they don't tell you everything that they do before making these videos. So please just keep that in mind. Can't stress that enough, because at the end of the day, I don't want you to, you know, for the car to blow up or anything, or, you know, anything like that. So yeah, once that's done, what you want to do is you're going to come over here to File, and you're going to go Save As, and you're going to name this whatever you want to name it. We'll go Pop and Crackle. Okay, click Save. And then in the next slide, we're going to go and take a look at how to upload this now into the OFT v3. Okay, so with the link that I provided in the previous video, you want to go ahead, make sure you sign in, and like I said, under Sessions, Session and Files, I will just move my little guy there. There you go. Under Session and Files there, just want to click Files. And then, as you can see here, one of these slots can be dedicated for the tune that we just did. So we'll just delete this one. And I just want to bring your attention back to that checksum error that you've probably forgotten about. Initially, when we loaded that bin file, it came off a checksum error. Now, you can go ahead and obviously, ignore that error. In this portion here, if we go upload this one, you see how it validates here. So it's going to validate the checksum here and produce this MD5 hash, just so you know that it's obviously all good. And if you want to go and share it, that's where that hash becomes important, so people know it's a valid file and not malware or anything like that. So now we've uploaded it, you're going to get a notification on your PowerGate app letting you know that a mod has been available to write. But the other thing I want to quickly go through are some errors that I experienced and how to resolve them. Okay, so this is one of, I feel like, the more important sections. Now, like I said, I'm quite new to this, so when I'm going through and I'm testing, I basically had to kind of, go and find fixes myself. In case you're curious, and for whatever reason, and this happened to me, but I accidentally bricked my ECU because one of the tune files that was getting written like halfway through, it corrupted, which means, the whole process hadn't finished. I wasn't able to start the car. And yeah, if something similar like that happens to you, what you want to do, if you come over here and you go detail, okay, you can go and take a look and see the history, right? So that's when you're writing to the ECU. Now you're going to notice a few patterns here, right? So when you've got a success of okay, that means it's written successfully and everything's been fine. But something that threw me off was, you see here that it's written, it says success, but the OS says abort. Okay, now, when initially diagnosing this, I was like, okay, abort, meaning maybe something happened halfway through the process when it wasn't able to finish the tune. So with kind of those sort of assumptions, you can kind of use this process of elimination and be like, okay, well, is it the tablet? Is it the tune? In this case, I know it's corrupted, so it was the tune. And then I was thinking, okay, well, how am I going to get the car, back into back to being able to drive it and whatnot? And that's where you can come over here. You've got this recovery mode option. Now, if you set that to on, I'm not going to set it to on this time, but set it to on, press OK, and you'll notice this little original file here. Now, what that looks like on the PowerGate app is when you go and plug it into the ECU, it's going to come up saying that the ECU is in recovery mode. You're not going to be able to write any of the custom tunes that you just uploaded. Instead, it will only give you an option to go and write the original file. Okay, so you need to make sure you go and do that. Now, the process after that was fine. It did take a little while initially to write the original file. So as you can see here, we're back down here and it says here recovery mode on. And this was the right file that it used. Okay, so you can see that it went okay there. And after that, this was my initial testing of the other tunes. So yeah, sorry if that was a bit of a mouthful. I just want to let you know that that can happen, and try not to freak out or anything. But you need to understand the different errors that you might get, because there were some other ones where I got that were actually relating to the PowerGate software, and halfway, it didn't even start the tune. But what it will do is when you go proceed to write and you click OK, it will come up with an ECU inconsistency error. So I wonder if we can find that here. I just got to remember what day it was. I think it's these file fail ones. Was that the stage 2 plus? Yeah, so I was trying to put on stage 2 plus and it was coming up, not like this, but it was coming up with an ECU inconsistency error. So in that case, I emailed the tuning team. I'm not too sure what they did on their end, what they pushed through, but it was enough for me to able to go and push through another tune. So yeah, I hope I have covered everything in this one. Like I said, just keep testing, be careful, and don't follow everything that is found online, because it is obviously subjective to their car, and everything like that. Now, of course, after uploading the tune to the dashboard and everything, and then writing it to your ECU, just go ahead and idle the car for a little bit, 60 seconds or so. Make sure the engine is fully warm before you go and start testing your pops and crackles. I will hopefully have some videos of that specific tune. I am actually running a tune with both of the columns in negative numbers. So the point 15 column has a negative 10, while the point 20 has a negative 6, which is perfect for my car and its setup. Like I said, I'm not a professional, I'm not a mechanic, and this isn't advice. So I really hope that you enjoyed this one. I hope I try to cover everything that I could. There would be stuff that I missed out, information that I most likely got wrong. So yeah, don't take everything with a little bit of grain of salt. And I'm always keen to learn, keen to know more about this specific sort of niche. So if you have any advice, feel free to put it down in the comments, and help each other out. But this is going to be the end of the video. Make sure to stay nice to everyone, help each other out, and we'll see you in the next one.